Hello and welcome to Tiki's story and how she came to find her forever home. We've been going to PetSmart for a number of years and no, this isn't a paid promotion. It just happens to be where we shop. Tiki is our first adoption. We got to the checkout and I just had to go to the adoption center. It just was one of those things. We decided that perhaps it was time to bring a new one into our home. All our other kids have either come from our backyard because the universe seems to just make that happen. We found Morgan when she was just 9 weeks old. She was behind our fence and she spent 14 years with us. Below her is Cedric, who we also found in our backyard. She had been abandoned. We brought her in and her kids, Ghost and Zena, were born in our basement. So they've never been outdoors. Unlike Morgan and Cedric, they have no street creds. And Panther and Shadow were part of the feral colony that's protected in our area, and they both moved into our house. I think it's about 6 years ago now. Shadow, the one I'm petting his tummy, who we had to say goodbye to March 19th, 2021. So as I said, we haven't done an adoption before. These guys and gals all showed up either in our backyard or born in our basement. So Tiki is our first adoption. Panther knew we had brought somebody home, and so we had a room set up for Tiki, thinking she'd be in there for a few days, and we had food and comfy stuff set up for her. But Panther was definitely curious, and he stayed by the door. So day 2, we let Tiki roam around the basement for a bit. Panther and Zena were upstairs. We had the door closed. And then in the afternoon, we opened up the door and Panther was back down there to say hello. And Tiki's got that, wow, he's kind of big look on her face. But they definitely bonded quickly. Panther introduced her to, well, what some people would call a coffee table. In our house, it's the cat table, as you can see. He's explaining to her about the back door, and he's letting Tiki know that they don't go outside. Then they're in my workroom looking out the window. They love the view. They can watch all kinds of things. So he's given her the scoop on how the world works here. She, of course, found a lot of comfy places on her own. She's enjoying the coffee table. She loves the ledge that my husband built years ago, so she can look out the front window. We don't know what it is about this particular door. I've caught Zena with her paws under there. Tiki's also doing it. And of course, she's having a good snooze after all her exploring and discovering. This is over several weeks. She also discovered the front door, and as you can see in this middle photo, she's looking at Chin, one of the protected feral colony. The colony started several years ago with 18 cats, which is when we became involved with trap, neuter, release. Now, several years later, it's now been 3 years since there have been any kittens, and the colony is down to 4 cats. The 3 original moms, Chin here being one of them, and then one of their kittens who survived from that year. The next picture is Panther on top of the coffee table and Tiki below enjoying the ortho bed that they have. So our kids have lots of options to sleep. Tiki with her grandma Zena, and she'll just lay and look at Zena. She's also hanging out by Panther here. She loves her brother Panther and he loves her. They bonded very quickly, so they're having their dinner together, and you can definitely see the difference in size. Tiki's only about 7 months here, of course we're guessing, because she's a rescue, and she loves to bug her brother when he's sleeping, and that's one of those, "Are you awake? I want a play deal." She's She's discovered all kinds of comfy places to chill and relax, including the kitchen counter, which she can get up to. And thankfully, she's learned that if she just stays by the window portion, that's good, but she's not allowed to go any farther. She is a little copycat, as you can see. She enjoys looking at Zena, but she also enjoys the kitty hammock. And just like her brother Panther, she loves boxes. Of course, she enjoys peeking out that front door. And above in that picture, there are the cat laws, which is how our world works here. And being little, well, yep, she gets a lot of sleep. It's pretty exhausting checking out that whole new home and adventures and playing with her brother Panther. This is September the 1st, so Tiki, of course, has gotten a bit bigger since we've brought her home. All three of our kids are together. We've got Tiki, Panther by the door, Zena in her hammock. Thankfully, Zena has decided, okay, it's not so bad having a little one around. All is thankfully peaceful, which we're very grateful for. And Tiki has definitely found her forever home and is much loved and appreciated. And I am so grateful that however I managed to hear that cat meow, we decided to go over and get our little cutie and bring her home. She's very precious. Hello and welcome. This episode is all about the little Teaker and her forever home 1 year later. It's hard to believe that a year has already gone by, and other days it's like she's always been here. The little girl came home on June 17th, 2023. We had her in a separate room and we adopted her through PetSmart. Panther definitely knew that someone had come home and he stayed by that door from the time we went in there. He would come up, eat his supper and snack, and right back downstairs, just waiting to meet her. And she, of course, was safe in the other room. The door stayed closed. The next day, it seemed pretty obvious things were going to go fairly well. So we opened the door, and sure enough, there's Panther waiting to want to meet her. And she was still a bit tinier than she is now. She's still a compact model. But this is before she came upstairs. And then, of course, she discovered it was all good. Panther wasn't going to give her any hassles. Zena was good, and she had places to stretch out. After that, it was free reign, check out all the rooms. We've got Zena here at the end of the bed, Tiki checking out the window and the trees and the birds. And the next view is her checking out through the front door. And again, just so much to discover. And she was the right height to peek over the window. She also discovered that she could get up on different bookcases, book cubes, and stretch out, and it was all good. She discovered the different chairs, and this is definitely one of her favorites. It's now downstairs, and that's where she typically watches TV with us when we're there. Zena was definitely good. Here she's on the cat tree. Tiki stretched out along the ledge that my husband built so that the cats can be comfy there. And here's Tiki checking out the bookcase and going, "What do you mean this hammock is Grandma's?" And Zena just stretched out. Then for some reason, Zena decided to be a typical teenager. She is 15 after, well, she was 14 at this point. And she moved downstairs. She had her own room. We, of course, took her food and water down there, and she was like, "Oh, there's a little one here. No, this isn't going to work."
thankfully, she came back upstairs after a month, but she was definitely a brat for a little while. Tiki and Panther, of course, buds from day one. Panther has had this box for at least 5 years. I keep thinking of getting rid of it, and then he starts sleeping in it. Tiki just checking him out there, and you can see her little paw like, come on, wake up, I want to play. So he did get up, but he left the area. She hopped in the box, but what she wanted to play, not sit in the box. This is probably, I just caught her as she was about to yawn, but these two are quite the characters. As I say, thankfully, Zena moved back upstairs because she realized, wait, if I'm in the basement, I'm not getting my mommy time to stretch out and read. I'm missing out on my hammock, all kinds of other things. So she moved back upstairs, has been up ever since. She figured out the little one wasn't going anywhere. She was staying. And now, as you can see in these pictures, they're all just one happy family. Got Tiki stretching out here. Little quiches between Panther and Zena. I have yet to get some of those pictures with Zena and Panther, but yeah, they're kissy kids. It's great. We have no idea where Panther learned to pet other cats. Drives Zena crazy because he'll do it regularly, and he does it to Tiki as well. He just reaches out his paw and ever so gently will pet them. It's hilarious. As you can see, there's a bit of a size difference between Tiki and Panther. She's still a little compact model, but is now a year, and they guesstimated she was 7 months when we got her. And she's still tiny. She's always going to be tiny. And Panther is our big boy at over 20 pounds. But whether they're eating in the living room or the kitchen, Tiki insists on being close to her brother at mealtime. But of course, it isn't just mealtime when they're close together. They share the cat table together. He's given her little quiches here. They're sharing stories about being outdoors. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know Panther was part of the feral colony in my area, and he moved in with his brother Shadow when they were 4 months old. Panther's now 7 and has been an indoor cat since they came in. No problems whatsoever. He's been able to watch his family through the windows. There's still a few of the colony left after we got involved with trap neuter release. And Tiki is our first adoption from PetSmart. All our other rescues, Morgan, Cedric, Shadow, and Panther, came from our backyard. Ghost and Zena were born in our basement. So as I say, Tiki is our first adoption from elsewhere. Most people, like I said in the typing here, have a coffee table. We have a cat table. From the first day we got this table 7 years ago, Panther and Shadow were up on it immediately. There are tons of pictures with Cedric, Ghost, Zena up there. And now, of course, Tiki has joined the party up there as well. They share the table in different ways. They've got their orthotic bed underneath, so sometimes it'll be Tiki or Panther underneath, someone up on top, so I guess it's like cat, why can't I think of the word, bunk beds. There we go. And then, of course, at the end, we've got their scratching post and toys and another item. They really like this because they can walk past and get a little bit of a scratch. It's got soft prongs to it. So that's a favorite as well. Panther's letting Tiki know that yes, this is the door to the backyard, but no, they don't go outside. It's actually amazing because after Shadow and Panther came in, like I say, they could see their family through the glass here. They used to play out in the backyard. They're familiar with everything they see through the windows, but neither one of them ever made an attempt to go back outdoors. They've been content to stay inside. And thankfully, Panther taught Tiki the same thing. She'll come right up to the edge, but neither of them thankfully go through. Even when Panther's grandmother Lily, who you may have seen in some of my other videos, and she is one of the three moms. So Panther's grandmother Lily will come up to the door, but these two don't go outside, nor does Zena. And Tiki still has a bit to learn about sharing. She may be the smallest of the three, but that girl can spread out and take up a whole lot of space. And Panther, being the little gentleman that he is, just lets her and Zena do whatever. He doesn't bother either of them. Such a sweet boy. So Tiki is most definitely forever home. She's absolutely comfortable, and here you can see this was when she was still super teeny after a day of exploring and just wiped out. Yes, she also gets up on the kitchen counter. There's an end where she can lay and look out that window. And of course, every once in a while she shares Panther's pet snake and just zonks out.
As it's another cloudy, gloomy day, I decided to start with a rainbow. Tiki here is debating whether she should come and see what I'm doing. She and Panther have a chat about who's going to come in and supervise me. And Tiki won the bet. She looked on from above, but decided she needed to be closer. Then she decided maybe you didn't get that right. And getting tired, ready to finish, so Panther took over. And of course, supervising and wanting attention. Zena, of course, had her own comments to share. And this was a few weeks ago as I looked out my living room window, having my coffee, and watching this little raccoon figure out what he was going to do. And it was quite a surprise because although I sit here and have my coffee most mornings when I'm not out back, I have never seen a raccoon in this tree before. It was one of those few days this winter that we actually had some snow. And I know that he definitely found his way down. I'm just not sure how because I had turned away for just a few seconds and he was gone. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed. Have a great weekend and we'll chat soon. Take care, and again, thank you for your time.